Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So let's start with Alexis. Um, Pretty much after Ned dragged her to the hospital and Portia checks her out, Portia's like, you know what, it's a possibility that she may have osteoporosis, which is the reason why her wrist fractured the way it did when she fell. Um, and they're gonna run some more tests and see. Yeah. Sonny and the family are still mourning over Mike's passing, which was still sad. Sonny and Carly talk about some bike that I guess Mike was supposed to give him when he was younger, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of tuned it out a little bit because, well, to be honest, it was just actually really sad. Um, but long story short, towards the end of their scene, there's a brand new bike that's just waiting outside that's wrapped up in a bow. So I don't know exactly what that meant. Let's see. Let's talk about Brando, Molly, and TJ. Here's the thing about this whole situation. I get that Molly is trying to deal with it the best way she can, and I'm trying to give her a little bit of leeway. But I feel like the way that she treats Brando is like trash. It's like, you was just some sort of like mistake or whatever. Like, I don't know, just the way she treats him is just, I'm not a fan of it. But anyway, she's acting really awkward because what ended up happening was you have TJ and Brando just hanging out, I guess, playing baseball or whatever. And Molly comes in, and Molly pretty much does everything she can to try to distance them. Talk about, oh, well, you need to go back to the apartment to study, and, we got to study and stuff like that, so why don't you just go on your way, whatever. And TJ's just like, yo, listen, I want to hang out with my new best friend Brando, pretty much. I want to hang out with Brando, and he's kind of lonely in town or whatever, and let's hook him up with, one of your friends or whatever. And so TJ goes and, I guess, gets some drinks or whatever. Molly and Brando are talking outside. And Brando's like, listen, why don't you just tell him what happened? And Molly's just like, at this point, too much time has passed to really kind of go back now. And then she says something along the lines of, and this is her reason of why she's not telling TJ. Well, it's going to do no good, and I feel like, I'll be selfish by unburdening myself just to hurt him. Really? That's new lie that we're going to come up with now? You don't want to unburden yourself? You feel like you'd be unburdening yourself at his expense? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's something I feel that people should use. Next time that they cheat on someone, they could just sit there and say, you know what? I don't feel like hurting her, even though I'll be, unburdening my conscience, which would be great for me, but would be terrible for them. So I'll just sit there and just not tell them. This way I don't have to hurt them. Yes, it's a very selfless choice. Anyway, that's literally her. That's just literally her rational thinking. So they talk a little bit, and TJ's like, listen, I want to do something as far as the hospital, as far as like kind of getting Cyrus out or getting attention known because of the people that got fired. And Brando's like, I don't know if that's such a good idea. I mean, if the rumors are true, Cyrus isn't someone you want to kind of, get on his bad side. And of course, TJ being TJ's all like, nah, man, F that. I want to sit there and I want to make some noise. I don't care what he's going to do to me. Yep. Someone has to die for everyone else to live. I'm just going to keep saying that. And by the way, before I continue with this review, I'm just wondering what they're doing as far as the descriptions in this whole thing. Because I said it yesterday and I'm going to say it today. Maybe I think I don't know what it is, but something along the lines of when I was reading a description, Curtis was upset with Stella about something, and I'm like, But Curtis wasn't even in this episode. What do y'all... I don't know. Tell me, that can't just be me. But, you know, TJ was just like, you know, I'm not backing down. We're going to do this. And Brandon was like, Molly, you sure about this? And Molly was all like, well, I'm going to back TJ 100%. Yeah, okay, sure. You're going to back him now, but whatever. And so Brandon was just like, all right, well, I'm in. And I think Brando's really doing it just to sit there and watch their backs, because I feel like Brando looks at the situation like this. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. At least I could sit there and have their backs while they're doing it. And I think that's just his thinking. So let's talk about Nicholas, Ava, and Avery. Yeah. Why Avery for Ava? I don't really understand. Why would you put your name so close to your daughter's name? But whatever. Anyway, Avery decides to just take a walk in the woods for some odd reason. And so Ava is just hysterical. She's like, you know, she's gone. I gotta find her. And Nicholas helps find her. And I'm not gonna lie, and 5 minutes later, they find her. Avery is walking around. She picks up Nell's necklace, and then they find her, and then that's it. And the reason why I say it like that is because the previews made it seem like it was so big. And I'm not sitting there saying like a child being lost for like 2 seconds isn't nerve-wracking, or 5 minutes isn't nerve-wracking, but like they made it seem like it was just like, we gotta find her. She could be going anywhere. And then in like 5 minutes, I'm coming. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't draw it out, but I don't know. And I think the only thing I actually liked about this whole thing, about this whole scene between the three, or between the two, whatever, is that, well, they're actually nice to each other. You know, Ava thanked Nicholas for, you know, helping find her daughter, and I think she looked at Nicholas how she used to look at him when they first met, you know, kind of like kindred spirits. And so, yeah, there's definitely going to be a romance with them. And my thing, usually, about these situations is I don't normally do the whole, you know, shipping people or whatever. But these two seem pretty interesting, and I want to see where it's going to go. Yeah, I think I talked about Alexis. 1 second. Robert, Ethan, and Olivia. So, Robert and Ethan are, you know, held at gunpoint at this point by Raj and his men. Olivia comes in, turns the tides. At the end, when the SWB comes in, they question Raj. Raj is all like, we killed her, blah, 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 blah. One of the agents find a body that's burnt beyond recognition, and they assume that it's Holly because of her height and weight or something. Her height, or her build or something. And also the fact that she was holding wedding rings that Robert gave her. her. And so at this point, everyone just assumes that she's dead. Because he said so, and he's so much of a trusted source. I mean, they kind of more conclude that she's dead. Which is really stupid and kind of annoying, but whatever. Because long story short, when everyone else leaves, there's this guy that comes around the corner that calls this other guy that's literally in the shadows. And it's like, okay, yeah, they bought the story that Holly's dead. They have no idea where we're keeping her at. And then we see this monitor. I guess these different rooms or whatever. And one room actually has Holly yelling at the monitor. So yeah, Holly's alive, and I guess we're gonna get back to it at some point. Now let's talk about... This is such a waste of a scene. Jax and Nina. This is the reason why I'm starting to get kind of annoyed a little bit. Because, well, their scenes were pointless. I mean, they're on a trail of, I guess, next clue to find out where Nina's daughter's whereabouts are or whatever. And then she gets a call from, and then Jax get a call from Jocelyn telling them about the passing of Mike and how she's upset. And then Jax is like, alright, cool. Tomorrow I'll book the first plane back to Port Charles. So at this point, the search is pretty much on a pause. And that's pretty much about it. That's literally it. And the reason why it kind of annoys me a little bit is because back in the day, when Jax used to be on the show, he used to come in for like these very short stories, give or take. And he would come in, he would do a story, and then he would leave. He'd come in, do a story, and he would leave. Kind of like Brenda. And I used to always sit and get kind of annoyed about that, because I'm like, I like this character, I want to see more of him. And the fact that he used to always just like go off was kind of annoying. But now having him back, it's like, they're not really doing much with him. And at this point, he's pretty much just Nina's sidekick on his adventure and his quest and stuff like that. And I'm not just saying it's bad, but it's like, give him something to do. Like, this dude has been, a character of Port Charles for a minute. I think he deserves a better storyline than pretty much being Nina's sidekick. Than being Nina's sidekick. So, kind of sucks. And I think I talked about Alexa's thing. She has osteoporosis. Well, she most likely has osteoporosis based on the fall. I don't know if I said that or not, but I'm not going to sit there and redo this again. Yeah, I talked about Mike and Sonny. 1 second. Yeah, that's actually it. I just want to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. Or I didn't leave anything out that I felt like that was too important. I mean, there's minor little details as far as like, when Michael was sitting there, thanking Chase for bringing in Brooklyn. And Chase being like, Brooklyn's going to stay with me for a little bit. And then they were just kind of looking like, okay. But those are little details here and there. This was the majority of the stuff that happened. And again, I'm just like, Jax is being so wasted at this point. It's just sad. I hope that they actually do more with his story, because he's been on this show for a while. And I know a lot of people have been asking him to come back since I think he was on Young and the Restless or Bold and the Beautiful. One of those two. People have been asking him to come back for a minute. And now he's back, and now it's... So I guess we'll just wait and see. But yeah, anyway, that's actually going to do it for this episode. This review. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite part was. If I missed something, let me know what that was. But yeah, that's actually going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Monday's going to be back to business. Monday's probably going to be on a later time, because it's usually my long day. Also, I'm doing this and Days of Our Lives review, so yeah. But anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Let me know what you thought of this episode. I will catch you in the next review.